If you're learning cybersecurity, you probably heard of tools like AirCrackNG or WaveMon, which we recently did a video on. But have you ever wondered how Linux communicates with your wireless adapter? Now, before you put that adapter into monitor mode or change the channels, we need to look at one important tool. And of course, I'm talking about IW. Today, we're going to break down one of the most important wireless utilities in Kali Linux and show you why cybersecurity students should know how to use that tool. So what exactly is IW? Well, I'm glad you asked. IW is the modern command line utility used to view and configure that wireless device on Linux. Think of it as the primary interface between you and your Wi-Fi hardware. Whether you want to inspect your wireless adapter, check what capabilities it supports, change operating modes, or just gather some detailed information about your connection, IW is one of the first tools you'll reach for. Unlike graphical network managers that hide all the technical details, IW exposes what's happening under the hood. It communicates directly with the Linux wireless networking system, giving you access to information and configuration options that many graphical tools just don't display. If you're serious about learning Linux, networking, or even cybersecurity, understanding IW gives you a much better picture of how that wireless network works. Let's be honest, you're probably thinking to yourself, why don't I just use a graphical interface? Well, those are fine for connecting to a network, but they don't provide a level of visibility or even control that you as a cybersecurity professional often need. IW allows you to inspect your wireless hardware, and it verifies your channel and frequencies it's using. You can see whether it's operating in managed or monitor mode and understand why, or more importantly, how your adapter is configured. It's also one of those fundamental tools used before working with more advanced wireless utilities. So many tools don't configure your adapter themselves. They rely on the operating system and the wireless configuration. That's why IW is one of those primary ways to inspect and manage that configuration. Plus, it's native to most Linux platforms. In other words, if WaveMon helps you monitor your Wi-Fi connection, IW helps you understand and control that wireless hardware itself. Now, the IWDev command displays all the wireless interfaces currently on your system. Think of it as taking an inventory of your Wi-Fi wireless hardware. And we can see here we have two physical devices. We have 1 and we have 0. We have wireless LAN 1 and we have wireless LAN 0. Now, for my specific system, I've actually disabled that physical system. Of course, we can see the interface names in this case. We can also see the MAC address associated with that physical device. We can also look at the operating mode. We can see if it's currently attached to an SSID, in which case mine is on this one. But you'll notice that is not there because, again, it's disabled. We can see the current channel it's operating on. In your case, we see channel 10. And we can see the frequency, meaning that I am currently operating on the 2.4 gigahertz band. I can also see that I've got a 20 megahertz channel and that my center frequency is 2457. We can see that my transmit power is whopping 20. Now, of course, if I just wanted to zero in on a specific wireless adapter, I could do that by just typing IWDev and then wireless LAN 1 because that's the information I want. And boom, it's going to give that to me. And that way I'm not taking that inventory, but you can see that I've got a lot of the same information associated with it. Now, if I want to show some specific information about the wireless connection, I can do that as well. Of course, that's going to be IWDev and then wireless LAN 1 and then just type in link right there. And we can see there's going to be a little bit more data when it comes to the specifics of that wireless connection. We can see here, again, I've got that MAC address. I can look at the system. I can see all that great stuff that we've already identified, but I've added to it the receive and the transmit in the packets associated with it. I can also see the signal level for the receive at negative 46 dB. Now, this is only the receive signal. Right, we're not doing transmit right there. I can also see my bit rate for my receive is only at 1 megabits per second, and I can see my transmit bit rate at 39. Now, we've got this BSS flag here, and we can see that it's a short slot time. And what this stands for is that the BSS flags, it's the capabilities, or think of it as the features that the access point is advertising to those connected clients. So what is slot time? Well, Wi-Fi devices don't transmit whenever they want. So before sending that data, they're going to listen to make sure the channel is clear, wait a tiny amount of time, which is called the slot time, and then they're going to begin transmitting. So this started with 802.11b. That waiting period was 20 microseconds. In this case, we're looking for about 9 microseconds with my current setup. Now, those shorter wait times, that actually means less idle time. It's more efficient use of that wireless platform, that wireless spectrum. There's a little bit of a higher throughput associated with it. And overall, it's just better. It's better overall performance. Most modern systems are operating at that 9 millisecond range. Now, if we drop down a little bit, we can see DTIM, and what that is delivery traffic indication message. It's one of the more confusing Wi-Fi concepts, but it's actually pretty simple. So to save battery, wireless devices don't constantly listen to that router. Instead, they're waking up periodically to see what's going on. They check whether the router is buffered for a data waiting. So they're looking at that and going, hey, are you doing anything? And then they go back to sleep if nothing's there. So the router announces this using special beacon frames. And every so often, one of those beacons includes a DTIM, a DTIM, and that says, wake up. I have a broadcast or multicast traffic waiting for you. You need to do your job. Stop being a slacker. So that value of 3 means that every third beacon frame contains a delivery traffic indication message. So approximately beacon 1, then beacon 2, and then beacon 3 would be that DTIM. So why is this important? Well, battery life. Right? Responsiveness. Low DTIM means devices wake up more often. They have lower latency, but they also have higher battery usage. And it depends on what type of your device you're using, whether or not you care about that, right? If I've got a device that's plugged in, I probably don't care about the battery life. If I have a high DTIM and it's, say, an IoT device or something that's battery operated, that's where the battery life usage comes a little bit better. It's slightly longer delay for that broadcast traffic, but if I'm talking about those IoT devices, I usually just don't care because I want that battery to last as long as it possibly can. Finally, we come down to that beacon and we have that INT. This is probably one of the most fundamental Wi-Fi settings that you have to be aware of. A beacon frame is basically the router saying, hey, I'm here. What do you need from me? It contains information like the SSID, the supported speeds, the channel, security information, timing information, and most importantly, the capabilities associated with it. So what we're basically saying here is that anytime your device gets a beacon frame, it can see from the router, hey, this is what you're all about. This is all the important juicy information I need to know in order to connect to you. So that interval, the router saying, hey, there's 100, that's 100 time units. So one time unit equals approximately 1024 microseconds. So 100 times 1024, that equals 102.4 milliseconds. So just about 10 times per second is what we're looking at right there. Now let's get rid of all this and go to our next command. We're going to do an IW list. Now, so far we've looked at wireless interfaces on our computer and the information about our current connection, but what if we want to know about our wireless adapter and what it's capable of? That's exactly what the IW list tells us. It displays the capabilities of your wireless adapter. So instead of showing what your adapter is currently doing, it shows everything that your adapter supports. Think of this like reading a spec sheet, right? It's basically saying, hey, these are the features available. These are the wireless standards I support. These are the frequencies I can communicate with, and whether advanced features like monitor mode are even possible, which in most cases, with most onboard Wi-Fi adapters, it's not. I'm actually using a specific one that's a USB connector, which allows me to see that. So we can see all these great features right up here. Again, if this is something you're really interested in, definitely something I would take a look at when it comes to your individual devices, but just a lot of great information, and you can see all the information that's provided. It's just a plethora of great information. All right, so now that we've got that, let's knock out one of my more favorite commands. We're going to do a sudo iw dev, and then we're going to do a wireless LAN 1 and then scan this one. This one is going to provide us some information about our nearby wireless network. So unlike WaveMon, which we did last time, this outputs detailed information directly into our terminal. So we're going to be able to see SSIDs, BSSIDs, signal. We'll be able to see some channel information. We could see the encryption associated with it. We could see the vendor information. This type of command is great if we want to troubleshoot or survey our wireless environment because it allows us to really see what's going on and what's out there. It can also help us to track down some rogue access devices. It can be helpful when we're talking about some security statistics. There's just a ton of data that's associated with this, and I could go through it, but we're not going to in the sake of time. Just know that's there. Definitely take a look at this and see what you can't come up with all this great information. All right, let's get some regulatory information. To do that, we're going to do an IW reg and then just get. So this tells us some really awesome and great information. Look at this. We can see the country code that Linux is abiding by, and that's the United States. We can see the regulatory body. Here's the FCC. And then we've got these numbers here. So this is the start frequency to the end frequency, and it's doing the maximum channel width, in which case this is 2. We can also see the maximum antenna gain. We can see that we don't have a problem with that right there, but we can also see the maximum power, which is here at 30 dB. We can also see if there's any restrictions associated with it. Okay, let's do our last command here. Let me go ahead and clear that out. We're actually going to do IW and then event. Now, nothing's showing up here, but that's okay. This monitors wireless events in real time. So this is absolutely 100% fantastic if you're trying to troubleshoot a problem. So imagine if your Wi-Fi is just randomly disconnecting every few minutes and you can't figure out why. Instead of guessing, you could just go to IW event and it shows you exactly when the disconnect occurred, when the adapter reconnects.